Makeup.
You're watching Full Tilt Vegas with Richard Delatorre.
Full tilt. Full tilt. Should have got my makeup. She's on vacation. I can't do my makeup. I can't do my makeup today. Yeah. This is Go Live Vegas Studios in the heart of Las Vegas. This show is called Full Tilt Vegas, episode 73, Methods of Card Counting. Before we get into that, you can go get my book on Amazon. You can download it on your phone. You can get it on Barnes & Noble. There's other places you can get, but they're not very well known. But there's like, I don't know, like, what is it, 25 different places? But the everybody gets on Amazon. I mean, I guess it's a good place to get it because it's probably the cheapest. Oh, now you can hear me? Well, I got to start all over? Get down the sounds right here. Hey, like that, Roger, Art. I used to DJ too, so. And Roger and Art, they used to DJ, so we used to talk like that. Getting down the sounds right here. Don Jose, down on Riverside. Anyway. Yes, this show is going to be on card counting. Probably going to need the whole show. I don't know if I'm going to do my commercial or not, but I like to say this is beautiful out here. It's like 80 degrees in Las Vegas. I was downtown yesterday. I was at Circa. It was a zoo, concerts. I could see that way over there. Oh, you don't got this monitor on up here, Aaron. Anyway, what does that say?
You made me feel weird, Richard.
Why? Why? You a DJ? I made you feel weird. You know, Aaron, you cut my head off too. Here, wait a minute. Let me do this. I wish when I first started doing these videos, I kind of wish we would have goofed around more. Because I do see a lot of what do you call them? We don't call that here podcast. We don't call this show a podcast. We have multiple cameras, multiple platforms. So this is actually it's not a huge studio, but it's a pretty good sized studio. It's millions, thousands of dollars of equipment. So we call it a broadcasting studio. So you can do anything here. Commercials, you want to do a demo reel, if you want an actor, a model, comedian, there's that number there. You can call Aaron during the week, maybe leave a message. If you want to do a demo reel, believe me, you ain't going to find any cheaper for somebody in this town to do a demo reel the way he does it. And he edits it, he put graphics, he can do all kinds of things to it. Filter it. So, I mean, if anybody wants to do that, that's fine. I like to say that number, but I used to know it by heart. 855-502-4321. There, I said it. Yeah, what I was getting at, thank you very much. What I was getting at is I wish we would have goofed around more on the other shows. My first show, you can see, I was a little nervous because Aaron told me we were live on the radio too. So I figure I got to keep gabbing. Some people say I'm real good at that. I don't know why, but
very interesting, but thoroughly supercilious.
Yeah, see, we got to do a lot of that stuff and make the show more enlightened. The show and stuff. There's a lot of podcasts or shows. They do a lot of goofing around and stuff. It makes the show more exciting, especially if you're a person doing it by himself. It doesn't matter to me now. I can go on this. You just get used to it. It's like an actor. When I was acting very early on in the 80s, I get in front of a camera. I was so comfortable in front of a camera because I used to perform in martial arts and stunts live with audiences when we did our shows. So when I got in front of a camera when I was acting early on, probably the best movie I can say was Buckaroo Banzai. Peter Weller. The next movie he did was RoboCop. So I was talking to him on the set, but he wasn't really known yet. A lot of stars were there: Jeff Goldblum and Robert Ito. There was a ton of actors. A lot of them were unknown at the time, especially Jeff Goldblum. I mean, I was sitting at the same table eating lunch with him. But no, who was he? I mean, he wasn't famous yet. But anyway, I just say I wish we would have goofed around more on the show. Okay, so I'm going to get to this. I think I talked everything about my book. Anyway, it is also in my book. This page 27, I think it's 26 and 25, 24 it's on card counting. Now, what am I gonna say? This is my belief, and everything on all my shows is my opinion. I have 35, maybe 40 years of experience, going all the way back. Blackjack craps, and horse racing. Roulette came probably in the past 10 years because I don't really care for it. So I actually looked at it and broke it down, and I do get my the way I would like you to play, and I have that in my book too on roulette. This is a way you can actually make a little bit of money, but you got to walk away, and a lot of people don't do that. So the card counting I learned very early on. Card counting. That goes all the way back to 95. And I do tell my story on one of my episodes, I think 14 with Anthony Curtis. That's a real popular show. He's a former card counter, and he used the original way. I call it the original way because I really don't like to give names. I mean, I could, I guess. It's Edward Orr Thorpe. He put it in the 704 IBM computer, but you got to remember something. He's human. Any mathematical problems or any idea he had about how to follow card counting, he put it in the computer, and the computer spit it out. So if there's any discrepancies about the way he did it, nobody voiced their opinion because they didn't even know what it was. So I know there's other ways of card counting. I know two ways: the original way, which is Edward Thorpe, and then Geyser. Hello. I know. I see it. Hi. Hello. He put it in there, and everybody was following it. A lot of people follow it. It's hard for me to say. It's a good way of card counting, but I personally there's a flaw in it, and I admit it. And thank you very much. Hey, make sure you don't burn my turkey. So anyway, that's your mom, huh? Yeah, okay, wrong one. I thought it was his wife because we were talking about Thanksgiving. They celebrate Thanksgiving tomorrow in October. They're Canadian. Anyway, watch her come through the door. The method I follow in card counting is I'm going to say it. I'm just going to say it. John Patrick. That's how I learned. Now there's other ways of card counting, but I follow that method. The reason why is because in the original way, which is the Edward Thorpe way, you don't count 7, 8, 9. You don't count those cards. I know why they don't count them, because if you use the ace, 10, jack, queen, king, if those are a -1, and then you have 2 through 6, a +1, so you got a negative and positive. If you start at 0, those two wash. So you end up back at 0. Now you're not counting 7, 8, 9. Those are neutral. But in that method, if I call it a system, I like to call the way I do it a method of mathematics, because you are using math. You're using math here too, but I still say there's a flaw in it. And the reason why I say that, because I think it was in August of '96, the MIT team lost half the money. Now, if I can remember correctly, this is my opinion. They lost $8 million, lost $4 million of the dollars because they ran into, people. It doesn't matter. You run into bad shoes, or you just run into. Don't matter what you know. It's not a guarantee. You just have an average of a balance of cards, like high or low. But you don't know. You can't say there's 7s coming out or there's a 9 coming out. It's not what a card counting is about. Oh, I know a 10 or a king's coming out. It's not what it's about. It's the value of the card. 10 value card is 10, jack, queen, king. And then in that method, they use an ace too, which I don't agree with, because an ace you can be used as a 1 or an 11. So why are they using it as a 10? They're using it in a count. I know why they're doing it, because they need those those 5 cards and these 5 cards to push. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's a push. And then 7, 8, 9, you don't count them. So you go back to 0. That's why they do it. But in the, Aaron, you want to tell me what that is? I'm going to get off here. I'm going to get off here what I'm doing. So John Patrick's way, which it's just a method I learned. I learned that method because you count all the cards, and I did check the original way of card counting, Edward Thorpe, and I didn't care for it because I actually did simulations. I wanted to know if I'm going to be doing this, I want to know why I know 2 ways. Somebody told me there's other ways. I don't know about them. I don't care to know about them. I just follow the one I learned. It's in my book, and I show you how the difference between these 2 methods. I'm going to show you here tonight. I'm going to show you why. Original way, I don't care for it because the count, even though the count does go high, it's off. If it's supposed to go back to 0 and you start at 0 and it ends up at 0, but in between counting, those cards, is that the same girl? Yeah, it's her, huh? We made the feel problems, Richard. Problematic. Yeah. Oh, I don't know. I don't know what she does. Are you a DJ or card counter? So you got to remember, I've been doing this for a long time, and if I'm going to be using my money or not, playing around, this is my money. I'm not going to give it to the casino. I want to know what I'm doing. That's why I did all the research for all these games that I teach. All these games are trial and error. I've lost a lot of money, but I've won some really good money at short periods of time. Like I said, craps bought in for $300, won $9,600. That's a huge profit. Yes, I've lost money at the crap table, but sometimes, might be 2, 3, 4 days later, I get it back and maybe more. It's not it doesn't matter what you know. It doesn't matter what any professional gambler knows. There's like this, a heartbeat. There's professional gamblers I know, and then the ones I heard about that went broke. Some of these guys were worth $2, $3, $4, $5 million and went broke. How the hell you go broke? Believe me, you start betting certain type of money, bigger money, you can go broke really fast because it's a sure thing. Like Gary said, this horse has to fall down to lose, Richard. I remember this horse has to fall down to lose. Guess what happened? The gate opened, the horse fell down. I go, what the hell? Gary, you jinxed the horse. Nothing's a guarantee. All you have is an edge. That's all you have. On my book, all you have is an edge. Card counting, which you should know, basic strategy. You should know hedge betting, money management on blackjack and craps and roulette. You should know ratios and percentages on the numbers you're picking or where you're placing your bets and what the percentage and ratio is against you or for you. And I broke all that down. I did the homework for you. Trust me, I spent countless months, not hours, months on this stuff. And that's why it took 4 years for me to do this book. So anyway, I'm going to show you the difference. Why? I know people are going to ask me, why do you think that original Edward Thorpe, the guy was a math genius professor, and who are you? I only went to 12th grade. Yeah, I went to college for other stuff, but yeah, I only have a 12th, regular school, 12th education, but it has nothing to do with it. How many people out there, all these equations they show you in this book about card counting, how many people out there know how to go +1, +2, then you go minus one of those, so you go back to +1 or 2. This card you may be 1, 2, and this card's -2, so now it's a push. So as long as you can go +1, +2, -1, +1, +2, +3, +4, and then a 2 comes up, a -2 comes up, you're back to 2. How many people can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 5 times? 7 and 2. 7 and 2 is 9. How many people can do that? It's simple math. It's not times equations. It's not. You're not going to the moon. You don't need all these equations. That's what it is. And a lot of the card counters tell you that. If you can count 1, 2, 3, -1, +1, -2, if you can do that, you should card count. This is the problem. people card counting. You know what they do? They practice for maybe 2 days, 3 days, because they want to run in the casino, and they don't have enough practice because you have to remember. You have to remember. You have to keep everything in your head because there's distractions. There might be a pretty girl there. You're looking at her and you forgot to count. Some guy might ask you for a light. You're going to forget to count. You start drinking, you're definitely going to forget to count. Something happens in a casino, you're going to forget to count. So you have to practice for probably about, I'd say, 6 months on card counting. Before you go to the casino, go downtown or whatever, a $5 table, and don't drink in the beginning because I can get hammered now. It don't matter to me. And start counting and make sure you're not eyeballing the cards. Make sure you're not doing that. You should be able to sweep the table with your eyes. The method I use, I sweep the table. I wait till all the cards are out, and then I watch the dealer's last card come up. Boink. And I see that card, and I see the next 2 cards over here at first base, and I go, whack, and I'm done. That's how fast I can count those cards. You trust me. I can count a deck in 23 seconds, a single deck. If you do it in, Anthony Curtis says he likes to do it, between 30 and 25. Yes, that's pretty good. But I want to see how fast I could do it. And I can't flip the cards over fast enough. I've done it a couple of times. It's 23 seconds. I've tried to do it faster, but I can't flip the cards any faster. That's why I can't do it any faster. But 23 seconds, that's pretty fast. So once you get used to doing that, and I do teach you how to do that in the book, how to candy and stripper. What? Stripper legs? Candy and stripper. Thank you very much. So, that's why I want to read those, but I'm getting off here. So the card counting. See, let me think. I can sweep the table with my eyes. If I see the card, I go whack. That's called a 3-set off count. That's the method I use. I'm going to show you the other method first, which it's a little harder for me because I'm so used to the other way. So the cards actually, you get confused because you're not supposed to be counting cards, and then you're supposed to count the cards, and then the ace is supposed to be a +1. It's a -2. So because that's 2 ways of counting, I only use the one, but I'm going to show you the original way because I talk about it in my book, saying there's a flaw in it, and there is a flaw in it, and I think that's why the MIT team lost half their money. That's my opinion. Even though card counting is not a guarantee, it does work. You are going to get fluctuations of cards knowing the count, and that's when you've got to put out, they call it the big money. But don't get crazy. Don't go $5, $5, $5, $5, and all of a sudden, whack, $400. Don't do that. They're going to know you're a card counter. You have to be real careful what you do when you card count, and you should always play 2 hands. That's my opinion, but if you can do that, if you can play 2 hands, you should be playing 2 hands. Okay, now, I got to explain first before I do anything. Let me explain. One deck of cards, which account would start at 45, because the reason why you start at 45 because it's one deck, and you have to get rich at 49. It's just the way this method was thought up. It's just the way it was. And if once you learn it, you're gonna know why. You go, wow, okay, I know why. Because in this one deck, there are 52 cards, and you got 16 of those are face value cards, or 10 value cards, and 36 face value cards, which would be, these are face value. 6s, a 5, that's a face value, and the 3 is a face value. And these here, this is a 10 value card. It doesn't matter. It's a 10, Jack, Queen, King. These are 10 value cards. I'm going to show you. This is the original. This is the method I show you in the book. Okay, so for every single deck, you start at 45, and the reason why I say get rich at 49 is because it's 45. You got 46, 47, 48, 49. And this method, the method I teach in the book, the ace is a +1. So you have to get rid of 4 cards. And the reason why I picked the reason why I picked that is because in this method, it's a 1, it is a +1, not a negative, not a -1. It's a +1. See, I'm thinking here because the other method, that's a -1, and then the original way I could say this is a -1. The way I use this is a -2. So you can see how it gets confused. So that's why I only use one way when I play. There's no reason to be using both ways. You just learn the way you want to learn. Now I know there's probably guys out there saying, this guy's nuts. If you ever heard of this method I'm showing you, is from I learned it from John Patrick. That's who I learned it from. So I show it to you in my book. And he never mentions the original way. I just say original way in my book because I didn't want to get in trouble. But I can go on here and say this is my opinion. So we have that right to say this is my opinion. So I'm going to go and show you. I'm going to go ahead and give you a simulation on the original way, and then I'm going to show you how it's off, how it can be off. So yeah, 45. 46, 47, 48, 49. Now you're at 49. Once you're at 49, and say, let me do this real quick, because I'm going to use the cards they don't use in the original. See that? What do you do? Let me back up. See, they're all face value cards. So you got 49, you got 50, 51, 52, 53, 54. You see how high it went? You're past 49. So since you're past 49, if I grab another, say I grab a few more, 49, 50, 51, 50, 52, 53, guess what I'm showing you? Face value cards. I'm not showing you no 10s yet. So what does that mean? That means there's a bunch of 10s in the deck. That's why you got to get rid of those cards. How's it going? Liking it much. So you got to get rid of those small cards or face value cards, and then the deck becomes rich in 10s. So it's kind of obvious. I took all these out and those, and there's a bunch of 10s in here. So you already know the count went up that high. That means you know there's a bunch of 10s in that deck or single deck. So, yeah, we're going to do the 4. So what I'm saying is, you would know that the deck, that one single deck is rich in 10s. I don't play single deck, double deck. You get too many stiff hands, which is a 10 value card and maybe a 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Those are stiff hands. You don't want those. You get too many of those in a single and a double deck. That's why I play 6 decks or 8 decks, a multi-deck shoe, because you're better off because you can get a ton of face value cards. I mean, the small ones if you need them. You can't do that. This is really hard. Even though you get a 16, you might anything past 6 and up, you can bust. Even though a 6 is neutral, actually it's pretty in the middle for the low cards. And then if you get a say a 12, the only card you can bust is a 10. So and I teach all that in this book, Winning Ways, Avi. But you believe me, I go through the whole thing: card recognition, basic strategy, and card counting. So let me go ahead and I'm going to show you the original way. Okay, Aaron, gonna have to show the table. Okay, I'm going to use 1, 2, 3. I think I'm going to use 3 spots. Now I'm not going to do this as I'm playing blackjack. I'm going to show you this as you're the card counter. So I'm going to show you what happens here when you're playing and you're counting the original way, which is, I believe there's a flaw in it because you're supposed to count at 0. You count at 0, and this method here, you're going to end up at 0. So remember that. You're starting at 0, and you're going to end up at 0. I took the cards I have in my book on page 27. There's 17 10s, 26 face value cards, and there's 9 aces, 5 7s, 5 8s, and 6 9s. The reason why I did that, because I actually played, when I was first checking this out, I was actually doing both methods. I said, wow, this is off. I think that this thing is really off. So I actually looked at all the cards I had, and I did add a few more cards to what I was playing to really show you the difference, because I had to go back to 0. And then when I show you this other method, the method I use, I'll show how high the count gets. So you can see that's the discrepancy right there. Start at 0, end up at 0, right? Okay, the method I use, I start at 25, and I think I ended up at 54. I didn't start at 25, end up back at 25, or I didn't start at 25, end up at 49. I end up at 54. So you can see the difference using the same exact cards in this simulation, that there's a discrepancy in count. Why does the original way start at 0 and ends at 0 using 68 cards out of 3 decks? And then the method I use in my book is you start at 25. Well, actually, this one you start at 37 because it's 3 decks. Start at 37 and get rich at 49, but I don't end up at 49, or I don't end up at 37. I end up at 54. Start at 0, end up at 0, the original. The method I use, start at 37. I don't end up at 37 where I started. I end up at 54. So the count was really, really high. What does that mean? That means that a lot of small cards were coming out, or face value cards, and there's a lot of big cards left in the shoe or these 3 decks. That's how many large cards are left. So it goes to show you, when you're counting the original way and you start at 0, end up at 0, there's only a small time frame right there where the count really actually goes up. I think it goes to 5 or something, but you can see it doesn't go way up. And you're supposed to bet all this money, and you're not counting 7, 8, and 9. Why would you do that? I know why they do it. They don't count 7, 8, 9, but what they do, they use them to double down and split. They are using them, but they don't count them. Okay, the way I use it, I show you in the book, is I count all the cards and I use all the cards. I think, to me, it's a better method because I get a truer count of its count is high. I get a true count when it's high, not when it's start at 37, it's maybe at 34. 37 and end up at 40, 42. No, it goes way up. The original way starts at 0 and gets maybe 1, 2, 3 high, 4, and then goes back to 0 real quick. So there's a difference right there. What you're trying to do in card counting, you're trying to find a shoe that is, the count is getting way up there. Once it goes way up there, a lot of small cards or face value cards have come out or been discarded, and there's a lot of 10 values left. That's what you're looking for. Okay, I'm going to show you this. Aaron, you got to show the table. That's why I told her this is going to be a little complicated. I could have explained it the first way first and then show you, but I had to tell you all this stuff first so you fully understand what I'm doing here. Okay, this is 68 cards. I had to use 3 decks to get all these cards out. Now, I'm going to start at 0. So, okay, I pull the first card out. I wasn't going to use the dealer. I'm not going to use the dealer because you're actually counting the cards. Even though this is a simulation, I don't have to use the dealer. I'm showing you what the count is. That's what I'm showing. The only thing I'm showing you here is the count. So let's pull out the first card. You can see it's a 10. And you can count these if you want. I'm going to have to do this. I'm not going to use the dealer because I need to get all these cards out. I'm just going to, all this is a simulation of the cards going to 0 and coming back to 0. So if this is your hand, the problem is not doing this. You know what? I can still do this. I can do it. I wasn't going to do this because I'm trying to do this as a card counter and not playing the game. But I'm going to have to do this because I got to do it. Show you the other way, the way I got to use the dealer. So I'm going to have to do it. So it doesn't matter what cards I pull out. So let me just do this. It doesn't matter. Let me just do this. It doesn't matter because this is not a real game. I'm just showing you how the count starts at 0, ends at 0. Okay, so now, okay, remember, on this original way, you don't count 7, 8, 9. So this would be, count as 0, be 0, this would be a +1. Now, eventually, it'll just go 1, 2, 3, minus. You won't be doing all this in the beginning. 0, +1. don't count it. Plus 1, plus 2, plus 3. Go back to 2. Go back to 1. And then that one up there, you go back to 0. You're at 0 already. Okay? So 0. Okay, now I'm just going to go ahead and play this. 0, you bust, and now it's a -1. Okay? -1. Now it's -2. He's going to say he got blackjack. I'm not going to go through that. -2. -1. Okay? -1. Let me see. I hope I do this right. -1. I'm just going to go to Dieter card. -1. I'm doing this backwards. -1. You keep that in your head. You'll learn not to say it out loud, but I'm doing it for you guys. -1. Okay, you can see that. -1. Now I'm back to 0, 1, 2, 1. This would be off, but I'm not going to do that. 1, 2, back to 1. And you don't count it. 1. Remember, I get confused here because this is the other method. You don't count this as a negative. -1. So what is that? Negative back to 0? See, this is why I got to do this without talking because I don't want to get the count off. I think it's a -1. 0. Shit. I wonder what it is. Damn it. See, I didn't want to do this. Hold on. I'm going to have to do this. It's because I'm getting confused with the way I teach. I don't use this method. I do know about it, but I don't use it. So, offset these. I need 3. Don't count. 3. Offset. 3. See, that's why I didn't want to do this. Okay. Offset. 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 -1. -2. Back to 0. 1. Back to 0. Push back to 0. 0. 1, 2, 3. Okay, right now it's a +3. I'll do the other way really fast. 3. It's a +3. Okay, 3. Don't count it. 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5, 5. I'm just going to end this. 5, 6, 7. Since I already messed it up. 7. 7 plus 7. Remember, it's a plus. That's actually high. +7. Bet the money. 7. 8. 7. Still 7. 8. I'm just going to end this. 8. Damn it. Hope I got this right. 8. I could just do this. 8. You showing this? Doesn't matter. I'm showing you a count. 8. It'd be 7. 8. 7. 6. Back to 6. I'm just going to end this like this. Back to 7. Let me do this. 7. Since I kind of screwed that up. 7. I hope I got this count right. +7, right? +7. That'd be 8. It'll be 6. It'll be 5. It'll be 5. 5. 5. 4. 4. Still 4. +4. I'm going to be done right here. 4 plus 4. Nah. +4. +4. Don't count it. 4. Still 4. 2. 1. 0. I'm back to 0. Okay, I'm back to 0. That's 0. It's an offset 0. 0. I did it right. I'll count these. Okay, I did that right. The reason why I'm saying that, because I don't use this method, The problem is with this, it's confusing because the 7, 8, 9, you don't use them. The ace you use as a -1. You don't do that in the way I use it. The ace is actually a +1. And then you do count 7, 8, 9. That's why I'm doing both card counting methods, and they conflict with each other because there's cards you count negative, and then on the method I use, it's actually a positive. So you see, I started at 0, I ended at 0. Now watch this. I'm gonna shuffle these cards. I know that it's kind of complicated. It's even more complicated because I don't use that method, and it gets really confusing because I'm counting cards that I'm not supposed to be counting that way because I don't use that method. So it's kind of confusing. So I'm gonna show you the difference. That count, I started at 0 and ended at 0. So I did get I got as high as 8? That was a pretty good count. But the problem with that is, you see how the 7s and 8, 9s were out there? I didn't count them, but I could have busted with them or used them to double out and split. Now, you do the same thing in the way I use, but what I'm saying is you don't get a true, to me, my opinion, the true value of the high cards, how high it is. Just because you've seen the count got from 0 to I think it was 8 or 9, that means that deck was rich in 10s. It wasn't. It wasn't rich in 10s because I kept seeing the face value cards coming out. So I'm just telling you, you can do this at home. You can actually get, when you get my book, go on page 27 and get all these cards out, and you can do this for yourself. Now watch. I'm going to do the way I count. I'm going to do this a lot easier because this is the way I use. Okay, remember, this is 3 decks. So I'm going to start at 37, and I'm going to get rich at 49. What that means is, getting rich at 49, I have gotten rid of, out of 3 decks, I got rid of 12 face value cards and got to 49. And once you get to 49, you get any higher, you're pulling out all the small cards or face value cards, and you're nothing but 10s are left. Now watch the difference. I'm going to start at 37. And once I start getting rich at 49, that means there's face value cards coming out. Now, I just shuffled these cards, so I don't know what's coming out. So I'm going to go ahead, since I'm supposed to be over there, let me see if I get this right. The dealer gets, I guess he gets the first card. It's kind of hard to tell because I'm on the other side dealing. See, it's already wrong. It doesn't matter. I'm doing a simulation. Okay, this is real simple for me because I do 3-set off count. You can do this in the beginning. You can go, remember, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44. The count's already 44 because these are all +1s. This is not a -2 no more. It's a +1. So you're at 44. So you can do this too. Start at 37, and when you see this, bam, 40. And you see this would be 44. So 37, or did I say 25? 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44. Or you can do this. Eventually, you'll end up doing this. 37, 44. See how fast I did it? 30, it counts 37. You know it's 3 decks, so you count at 37. You go 37, 40, 44. Bam, that's how fast you counted that deck. That's why I like this method, because it's easier to count to me, and you're counting all the cards. You don't have to worry about, oh, I got to skip that, I got to skip that. I count them, but I got to skip that. You don't have to do that in this method I show you in the book. You count all the cards. Okay, so I got 44, right? What do you do here? I don't know. People do this. 44, 45, 46. No, 46, 12, 46, 46, 46. Counts high. 46, 47, 48. Uh-oh. 48. Whoa, that was close. 48, 49. Okay, look at all the small cards. Even the aces, because it's a +1. What did I say, 48? See, that's why. Okay, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49. Okay, I am rich at 49 right now. I just want to make sure, 49. Now, that means that this 3 decks are rich in 10. It's kind of obvious. That's why the count went from 37 to 49. Now I know there's face value cards coming out, 10 value cards coming out. Now, I'm not going to really play the full game because I'm just want to show you the count. So this is 49. Remember, for every 10 value card, there should be 2 small cards. So it's a push. Okay? So so that's why you do that. Get rid of 4 cards in one deck. You get rid of those 4 cards, and you become rich in 10s once you get to 49. So 12 cards here. There's 3 decks. So you got to get rid of 12. You got to get rid of 12 face value cards, even though this is a this is an ace. Okay, and then you get rich at 49. Now 10 should be coming out. It's kind of obvious. I go through card recognition too, and it's kind of obvious. So this is 49. I'm going to end this. I don't have to play the game. I'm showing you. This is a simulation on card counting and why I think the original way has a flaw in it. Okay, 49. Let me do this. 49. Okay, as soon as it flips over, I can count just like that. 49. You can go like this if you want. You can go 49, 50, 52. Or you can go 49, 52. That's how you should be counting, offset counting. Okay, that's 52, and then I see this, and this. I know the count's still 52 because these 2 offset that one. 52, 50. That count is 50. Look how high it's going. Face cards should be coming out. 50. There's 51. 51, 52. Okay, the count is 52. Now look how high the count's getting. 52. Face value cards are probably going to be coming out. 52. It's not a guarantee. 52. 52. I got 54. And I got 54. I can do this. 54 goes back to 50. 51, 49. 51, 49. I can do it just like that. 49. 49. 50. 48. 49. Okay, I'm back at 49. You see, because the reason why it's coming down because face value cards are coming out. 49. Okay, 49. I can go like this. 49, 50, 51, 52. Or I can go 49, 52. You'll end up doing that right off the bat. 52. 52, you already know that's 54. You can do that. 54 if you want, or you can go 52. 53, 54, or you can go 52, still 52, 53. You can do that. 53. 53, I'm probably confusing everybody. 53, 54, 52, 53, 54. Ooh, you don't want that. 54. Okay, 54. Let's see what happens there. The count's 54, so it's higher. 54. 54, 54, 54. Now, you're going to probably say it in the beginning, but keep it to yourself. 54. I'm saying it out loud so you can hear what I'm saying. 54, offset. 54, still 54. Still 54. 52. So you would sweep it. 52. See the count's going up, 52, and you're getting face value card. 52. See what I mean? Oh, now it's going to come down. 52, 52, 50. 50, 50, 50. Oops, 50, 51. 49. Okay, 49, counts 49. It's still up. 49, damn it, did that backwards. 49, 49, 50, 51, 52, 54, 56, 56. Counts going up. 56, past 49, you get a face card. 56, 54, 55, 53, 54, 55. See how high you're getting? 55. So you kind of know face value cards that come out. 55. Do this because I'm almost out of cards. 55. 55. Still 55. 53. I probably got one off. Should have ended at 54. But look how high it got. 54. So you can see the difference and I'm using the same cards. The original way I started at 0. Once you start to card count, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you start at 0 the original way and you end up at 0, you can see you start at 0, end up at 0. This count, you're counting all the cards, and you can see the fluctuation of how high the count got. So you know more face value cards are, 10 value cards are coming out. Because I started at 37. I didn't end up at 37. I started at 37. I got rich at 49. That means I got rid of the first small 12 cards, and I did count them. And then I went all the way to 54. So you can see the count, 37 to 54. The original way starts at 0, ends at 0. So you can see there's a discrepancy right there. Yeah, these cards. I'm just saying that, in my opinion, there's a flaw in that. There is a flaw, and the reason why I'm saying that because when you're card counting and you want to start putting more money out there, and the count is not correct, you're missing the opportunity to make more money when the count is high. And that original way, I'm just saying it. It's got a flaw in it. Because I'm sorry, Edward Thorpe. I mean, you guys are freaking genius. I'm just saying that the method when he put all those the decks in there and did all these calculations and spun it out on a computer, he only did it as a mathematician, not as a card counter or a person that played blackjack. So he wanted to know. So he let the computer do it. But whatever came out, which is the original way it came out because the man put whatever he put in there. And if there's something that he didn't figure to put in there, you're going to get the wrong calculation, or you're going to see flaws in whatever card counting method that he was pulling out. The guy's a genius. I know he's a freaking genius. I'm like a kindergarten compared to him. But what I'm saying is, if you have to show somebody this using the same exact cards, I'm using the same cards. Start at 0, end up at 0. How's that possible? Yes, it's possible because I got out the cards, but I use the same 3 decks in the method I use. Start at 37, I didn't end up at 37, or 37, I ended up at 49. I ended up at 54. The count was way up there. You know what that means? A lot of the small cards, face value cards, are coming out. There was a lot of 10s in there left. You would know that. On this method here, start at 0, and I don't know really, to me, because you're getting plus, they say +5 is supposed to be high. +5, are you kidding me? On the method I use, sometimes there's 15 cards that I'm way up, and I'm still not getting 10s. It's not a guarantee, but what I'm telling you is I on this simulation that I'm doing, I did it because I originally wanted to know myself. And when I did this, I go, whoa, something's wrong here. I'm really close to 0. So what I did is I counted all the cards and I said, let me do this. I'm close to 0. Let me pull out a few more cards to get to 0. And then I don't care what the other method is. That method right there shows me there's something wrong. 0 to 0. The count I used started at 37, end up at 54. That's freaking high. That means a lot of face value, a lot of small cards or face value cards are coming out. That method, the fluctuation is too fast. It goes up and it comes back down. Goes up, comes back down. How do you know when to get the big money in when the fluctuation goes too fast? This method here I use, the method you can see, the method can go. I can go 6 cards up and come down 2, then go back up another 6 cards and maybe come down 4, and then go up another 6, 7 cards and come down maybe 4, 5. But look how high the count keeps going. This method here, the original method, the fluctuation of count, because you're starting at 0 and going +1, +2, +3, negative. Now it's a negative, so you go back to 2, back to 1, back to 0. The fluctuation is too fast. I need to know how many face value cards or 10 value cards are left. That fluctuation is too fast. That's why I think not only the MIT team lose half their money, remember, this is my opinion, they lost $4 million, is because they didn't count 7, 8, 9, but they did use them. They used them to double down and split. But by not counting those cards, why wouldn't you count those cards, 7, 8, and 9? Those are not 10 value cards. So if you're not going to count those 7, 8, and 9 in a 6XU or whatever, then how do you know how high the count is going when you're not counting 7, 8, 9? If you're not counting them, then the count doesn't really go nowhere, but yet all the small cards are coming out. You know what that means? It means there's a shitload of 10s in that deck. How would you know that if you don't count 7, 8, 9? If you don't count them, then that means that you're not going to know how high the count gets of 10 value cards because you didn't count those. So that's all I'm saying. Come on, it's a flaw. It's kind of obvious. 7, 8, 9, you don't count. Why wouldn't you count them? You're leaving tons of 10s in there, and you're waiting for the 10s to come out. How would you know they're coming out when you're not adjusting the count? You're not counting any. You're not counting those cards. Like I said, in the method I use, the table, for every face value card, there is a 10 value card. So it's a push. So at one deck, when I get done with one deck, I should have 4. The reason why I throw an ace in there, because it doesn't matter if it's an ace. People get really crazy about an ace. Oh, look, it's an ace. It doesn't matter. It's used as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, -2. So it'd be 6, be back to 4. That's how simple you can count this. And then if you don't count these, this would be the other method, the original method, these would be a -2s. So this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then -2 would be back to 3. So you'd be a +3. And the reason why I don't like counting this ace, I don't like counting ace as a 10 value card in the original way. This is a 10 value card. So using the count, it would be used as a 10, a -1. In the method I use in the book, this is a +1. Not only is it a +1, in blackjack, you use this as a 1 or a 11. So I think you shouldn't be counting this as a 10. I know why they do it, because they need to offset the ace, jack, queen, king, ace to offset 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's why they need to offset it. And then you don't count the 7, 8, 9. So everything's a push. You're back to 0. That's why they do it. But the count would be off because you're not counting 7, 8, 9 coming out of the deck. So the shoe is becoming rich in 10s. It's becoming rich in 10s because you keep pulling out the non-10s, but you're not counting them. So how would you if you're not moving the count, then how do you know the shoe is not rich in 10s because you're not counting 7, 8, 9? You wouldn't know that. The method I use in my book, you count all the cards so you know if I'm pulling out 7, 8, 9, 7, 9, 9, 8, 7, 8, there's a bunch of 10s left because you pulled out all the face value cards. That's why I think this method is better. That's my opinion. Let me go ahead, since I have time. I'm going to do this real quick. Let me see. I'm going to show you this. This is the method I use. Now remember, this is 37 because it's 3 decks, 37. Right there would be a -3. You would know that because this is a +1, -2, -2. So if I said 37, you would minus 3 right off the bat. So you go 37, be 34. Just like that, 34. Offset, 34, 34, 30, 32. You'd be at 32 right now. This is the way you would do it. It's called 3-set off counting. I just show you this in the book. There's other ways you can do this, but you shouldn't do this. If you get a little drunk, because I've done this before, what I do is because they're already giving cards out, they start to give a card out, you got to count. You should have all this count rule done. You can go 37, and I already know that this card, I can say this card, this card, and this card is an offset. So I can go 37, 37, bring this card over here and count that real quick. 37, 38 minus 4 would be 34. That's how fast you should be able to count this deck. I've done it. I've done this. Because I've either something happened at the table, and what happened was she's already gave out 2 cards or 3 cards. So what I've done, if they busted and I said, oh shit, I was drinking or talking to somebody and I remember there are 2 cards. So what I do is I count everything quick and I minus this 4. You believe me, if that's what's gonna happen to you, that's what's gonna happen. It happened to me a lot. Because either I drink when I gamble. I just do. In episode 14, Anthony Curtis was cracking up because he used to drink too. But once you master this, and I say master this, you could drink and card count. It's not that hard. So anyway, go back to 37. This would be 34, offset 34, 34, 32. That's how fast you should count this. 32, 32. See, 32. You're back to 30. 30. Let me see if I can do this. Open up that right. Okay, remember, you're at 30. You'll keep that in your head. It's still 30. It's still 30. 31. That's how fast you should count. 31, 32, 33. Probably going to bust. 33. 33, 34. I'm doing this as a count. 34, 35, 33. That's how fast you should count. 33. Let me do the 3-set off count. 33. Remember, 33. Okay, here we go. 33, still 33. 33, 34. That's how fast I counted. 34. Remember, offset counting. Boom, boom, boom. 34. 34, take a hit. 34, 35, 35, 36, 34. Good, I'm going to finish this, Aaron. 34. 34. That'd be 31. 34, 31. Back to 35. 35, 33, 34. 34, 35. 35. 35, 38. 38, you can go 38, 39, 40, 36. 36, I'm going to finish it out. 36, 37. 37, 38, 39, 40, 41. Wow. I wonder if that was right. 41. I can count this. I can count this almost perfectly, but when I'm explaining to you, I don't know if I got off there, but that, what did I say? How high did I get? Anyway, it should be end up at 30, what did I say? 50, I don't know. Anyway, this was correct. Because this is not the 3 decks. I see I got confused. I'm using 1 deck. So that was right. Yeah, so when you start card counting, you remember, if you get really hammered or say something stupid, like you go, say 9, and you go, shit, I just called out a number 9. Yeah, 9. You can say, yeah, I lost 9. I'm thinking about those 9 hands I lost in a row last night. You got to think up something really fast because the dealers are going to catch that, and they're going to say, this guy's card counting. But just think of something really quick. If you say, I don't know, I've done it before. I've done it before because I was really hammered. I said one of the numbers out loud, and I bring out something really quick because you don't want to get caught card counting. You go in the Book of Griffin. Yeah, this is, I thought it was off there. It wasn't. This is a single deck. This is the 3 decks. This ends up at 54, not this one. This is the one I'm doing this simulation. This is a single deck. So, yeah, that's on card counting. You can get my book, and you can go over it. I suggest, as my opinion, you learn the way I teach you in the book, and you should be fine because you don't have to worry about all this. What card is what? You would count 7, 8, 9, all the cards, and then you would go +1, -2, +1, -2. It's real simple. It's just memorization. That's all it is. Okay, what I got, Aaron? We're good. We're out. Okay, we'll see you in 2 weeks. Full Tilt Vegas. We'll see you in 2 weeks. I'll figure out the subject. I'm gonna go on. I might have a guest. Okay. Maybe I'll see if I can get Gypsy G. She's on vacation. Okay, guys, we'll see you in 2 weeks on Full Tilt Vegas here on Go Live Vegas Studios. Thank you very much.